Why we meet people. A lesson from Zen gardens. Have you ever wondered why you meet certain people in your life? Do some encounters feel meaningful, while others feel completely random? There is an idea from Zen Buddhism that can offer insight into the people who cross our path each day. According to this philosophy, no meeting is truly by chance. Each person has a role to play in our personal journey through life. In today's video, we will explore this concept through a series of classic Zen stories and parables. We'll learn about a monk and a butterfly, fishermen connected across lifetimes, and a wise old man with unexpected wisdom to share. So get ready to open your mind as we untangle the intricate web of connections that bind us all together. But first, a message for all of you watching. If you enjoy learning about Buddhism, spirituality, and living an examined life, be sure to click that subscribe button right now. We release new videos every week featuring Zen tales with valuable life lessons just like the stories we'll look at today. By subscribing, you'll stay updated on all of our enlightening content. Now let's delve into the mysteries of why we meet people in our lives. To start, we must understand the basic Buddhist principle of interconnectedness. This idea recognizes that everything in the universe is deeply connected, like threads in a massive spider's web. If one thread is moved, it causes a ripple effect that impacts other parts of the web. In the same way, our actions and the events in our lives influence countless others through invisible links between all people, places, and things. With this in mind, Buddhists believe there are no random encounters. Every person who crosses our path does so for a reason, to teach us, challenge us, or help us grow in some way. Even a brief interaction can carry important lessons if we open our eyes to them. To illustrate this philosophy, let me share the famous tale of the monk and the butterfly. One day, a young monk was sitting quietly in the temple garden, meditating on the interconnected nature of all things. As he reflected peacefully, a beautiful butterfly happened to land gently on his knee. The monk remained perfectly still as not to disturb the delicate insect. As he observed it closely, he became aware of how connected everything seemed. The butterfly's graceful movements, the soft breeze swaying leaves above, and even his own calm breathing all felt synchronized in that moment. This chance encounter caused the monk to realize the significance of even small and fleeting interactions. The butterfly's arrival served as a reminder of how each being, no matter how small, plays an essential role within the greater web of life. Its serendipitous landing conveyed a subtle lesson about appreciating life's interconnectivity. Much like the butterfly in the story, the people who come before us also carry meaning, whether we recognize it right away or not. They may enter our lives to teach us patience, challenge an assumption, or share their unique perspective. Every person is like a thread in the web of humanity. Their story is woven together with ours in ways we can't always see. Let's delve deeper into how connections between souls can span lifetimes through the concept of karma and destiny, according to Buddhism. Karma essentially refers to the energy we put out into the world through our actions and words, both good and bad. Our karmic forces help determine what comes back to us through our encounters and experiences. Destiny, on the other hand, implies a preordained path reflecting the cumulative effects of karma from past and future lives. Some Buddhists believe that individuals we meet were destined to cross our path based on karma built through numerous lifetimes together. To better illustrate this idea, here is the story of the fisherman and the wise old man. One day, a seasoned fisherman was casting his nets along the shore as usual when he noticed an elderly man gazing out at the rolling waves. The man smiled warmly and asked if the fisherman remembered him, but the fisherman did not. Perplexed, the fisherman listened intently as the stranger shared that they had been friends in a past life long ago. As young men, they had made a pact to meet again near the ocean someday, not knowing when or how that reunion would transpire. Although the fisherman had no memory of the past, he felt a deep familiarity with this old soul. The man explained that it was no accident that destiny brought them back together at this time and place through the invisible workings of karma between them spanning numerous existences. This tale reinforces the notion that chance encounters hold deeper significance based on forces beyond our limited perception. The people entering our lives now could very well be spiritual friends or adversaries returning to fulfill destinies established through shared pasts we may never recall consciously. Every meeting, then, seems predestined according to the Buddhist lens if we contemplate the vast cycles of cause and effect extending beyond one lifetime. Often encounters that seem most random can impart important insights if received with openness and humility, as the next Zen parable reminds us so eloquently. It's called The Stranger in the Village. In a remote mountain hamlet lived a close-knit community that one day found itself faced with difference when a foreign traveler wandered into town. From his strange clothing and manner of speech to unusual customs, the newcomer stood out sharply from the villagers. At first, his presence created unease, and they observed him warily from afar while whispering wary speculation. However, through his patient friendliness, the outsider managed to win the townsfolk over gradually. He kindly helped an elderly woman haul water, taught the children new games, and regaled locals with stories of faraway places during evenings around the fire. In integrating instead of separating, the stranger gave gifts of fresh perspective and facilitated growth of the villagers through their willingness to embrace unfamiliarity without judgment. In the end, the community realized this chance assembly added value through open exchange of ideas and compassion shown for another. Sometimes difference brings opportunities to learn when met with receptiveness, and temporary visitors touch us in meaningful if mysterious ways if given the chance through willingness to understand past superficial markers. Truly, in strangers lie lessons if we receive them. We've contemplated the implications of interconnectivity, karma, and destiny shaping encounters, as well as insight to be gained even from unexpected meetings. What about cultivating awareness to unlock deeper wisdom available through everyday interactions? One approach shown powerfully in Zen philosophy centers on the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness simply means maintaining present, focused awareness during all activities, from formal meditation to casual moments. Its cultivation allows recognizing interconnection on a moment-to-moment level through conscientious observation without reaction or judgment. Consider what insights could emerge through bringing this attentiveness to a chance encounter, as portrayed beautifully in the story, The Tea Master and the Samurai. In a remote village lived a renowned tea master celebrated for his calming presence and ability to perform the tea ceremony with flawless mindfulness. Hoping to understand this mystique, a visiting samurai warrior requested to observe the ritualistic preparation one day. The tea master welcomed him silently and began with focused care, each smooth movement flowing into the next like a flowing brook. Absorbed completely in the process, the master maintained perfect stillness within, while attending to minutiae with utmost sensibility. Through watching intently, the samurai felt stirrings of deep inner calm, and afterward, the disciplined fighter understood how single-pointed living in each moment could cultivate such profound equanimity. Though meeting by chance, by sharing experience through mindfulness, both teacher and student cultivated insight together in a simple yet meaningful exchange, ultimately transforming the samurai. The moral here and in all these tales seems clear. We contain answers we seek, and answers lie within all living beings regardless of status or station if we approach with non-judgment and openness. Mindfulness applied to interactions allows glimpsing interconnected wisdom of self and other, and perceived chance encounters may in truth be opportunities for growth when received consciously. Now let's discuss how cultivating compassion further enriches such moments. Compassion simply refers to empathy, kindness, and caring concern for others. It represents a hallmark virtue of Buddhist philosophy, and many stories highlight compassion's power to uplift individuals and ripple outward positively through the fabric of existence, much like the tale, The Compassionate Monk. Late one wintry night, as a monk walked the quiet forest path near his hermitage, he encountered a beggar shivering alone on the village outskirts, dejected and ignored by passerby preoccupied with their own affairs. Stirred to compassion by the weary figure, the monk approached and kindly shared his threadbare cloak and warm bowl of stew, listening with care as the man unburdened his lonely struggles. Revived in body and renewed in spirit through this act of compassion, the vagabond decided to pay kindness forward however possible. The next day, he began aiding others by sharing what little he possessed, spreading goodwill through the neighborhood. Witnessing transformation come over the once somber man through the monk's care, locals themselves softened, and community bonds strengthened in the spirit of fellowship. This tender vignette shows how compassion begets compassion, and temporary intersections can leave imprints through open-heartedness, be it by grand acts or smallest gestures. Perhaps the purpose of encounters interwoven within our shared story revolve around cultivating empathy, patience, and understanding to uplift one another along life's winding paths. To close, let's reflect on overarching themes emerging from these classical Zen tales. We've contemplated how no meeting arises by happenstance according to Buddhism, but arises purposefully through invisible threads of karma, destiny, and interconnectedness in order to confer insight and growth. Whether learning from fleeting interactions like the butterfly landing or samurai's chance meeting with a tea master, each person carries meaning however briefly they touch our lives. By receiving others and situations openly without assumptions, viewing difference as opportunity rather than division, and maintaining awareness through practicing mindfulness and compassion, layers of interconnected wisdom continuously reveal themselves even within mundane moments. So the next time chance encounters cross your path, reflect on what interconnectivity, karma, or new perspective such meetings may confer for your journey, if received consciously with humility, care, and without judgment. To all who watched today, thank you for joining in contemplating these classic Buddhist tales. I hope you found insight into why encounters arise as they do, and will apply principles of openness, present awareness, and empathy going forward to deepen interactions and continue growing through life's winding circumstances and serendipitous meetings. Please subscribe below to stay tuned for further enlightening content, exploring Zen philosophy and living wisely. Until next time. 4 things you should never speak to others. Welcome and welcome back to another video. Today I want to discuss something very important for all of our lives, especially nowadays. I want to talk about the things we should avoid speaking about according to Buddhist teachings. At first you may think, I'm not Buddhist, so why should I care about these things? But these principles can apply to anyone's life, regardless of their religion or beliefs. That's why these types of speech are called the 4 unwholesome speeches in Buddhism. Without further ado, let's dive in. First is lying. Buddha said to avoid lying. I know we've all told small lies before in our lives. Whether it's a small lie, a big lie, or anything in between, lying itself can be very harmful for relationships. When you lie, it destroys trust. Trust is so important in relationships. It's the most important part of a happy relationship. That's why Buddha said to live truthfully and have honesty and transparency in our interactions. The second thing to avoid is divisive speech. By this, Buddha meant speech that creates conflict or drama between people, like gossiping or talking behind someone's back. I won't use divisive speech because it's bad for my life and other people's relationships. Most of the time we use this type of speech out of jealousy or anger. That's why it's important to avoid. Next, harsh speech should be avoided. How do you feel when someone is rude or calling you names? It makes us sad and depressed. Buddha said to not put others down or criticize them harshly with anger. Finally, idle chatter should be avoided. By this, Buddha meant speaking meaningless or useless things. That doesn't mean we can't have small friendly conversations, but we must know where to draw the line so our speech stays productive. Speaking meaningfully can create positive emotions and lives. These are the 4 unwholesome speeches. Why do they matter? Buddha said the words we speak create positive or negative karma. Don't think lightly of karma. Be careful of the intention behind your words, as they can hugely impact your life and others. Our words are like knives. They can help or harm. Let's use our words to make life better for ourselves and others. Thank you for listening. I hope this gives you something to think about. Until next time, I wish you all health, happiness, and peace. Subscribe for more Zen stories and Buddhism teachings. Whenever you feel sad, listen to this story. A motivational tale of a discontent raven roaming through the forest one afternoon. A lone raven perched atop a tall oak tree, gazing down at the other birds enjoying themselves below. But unlike the others, this raven was not happy. In fact, he felt utterly miserable with his situation in life. Why must I be a boring blackbird? He thought to himself. The ducks get to swim together in groups, laughing and having fun. The sparrows chatter noisily amongst themselves. Even the crows are sociable in their murderous groups. But me, I am all alone with no one. As the sun began to set, painting the sky a vibrant orange hue, the raven could not help the tears welling up in his eyes. He felt so unfulfilled, as if something was missing from his life that the other birds seemed to have. With a deep sigh, the first teardrop fell from his eye. Just then, a monk happened to be meditating under that very same tree. The solitary tear fell from above and landed gently on the monk's bald head. Stirred from his thoughts, he glanced up to see the raven peering down, tears now streaming down his feathered face. "Why do you cry, my friend?" the monk called up softly. Sniffling, the raven began, "O wise one, I am but a lonely and miserable bird. The others all revel together while I have no one. I am black, says the night, and have nothing colorful about me. Death would be better than this pitiful life." The monk's heart went out to the distraught raven. He replied gently, "We all have times of darkness, little one. But we must learn to be content with our state and find purpose within, not compare without. True happiness comes from within, not without." But the raven did not understand the monk's wise words. He continued sobbing, feeling more discontent than ever at his simplistic lot in life. Seeing the raven would not be consoled, the monk had an idea. "Fine then. If changing your form will make you happy, I can use my magic to do so. But first, go and see what other birds feel of their lives before deciding. Then return to me and I shall grant your wish." Excited at the prospect of change, the raven dried his tears and flew off in search of the other birds. First, he spotted a grand white swan gracefully floating upon the surface of a pond. Surely this beautiful bird must be happy with its elegant appearance. Landing beside the swan, the raven said, "Oh, how marvelous you look, as milky white as fresh fallen snow. You must be the most pleased of all birds." But surprisingly, the swan shook its large head and replied in a melancholy tone, "Alas, no. The white paints me as pure. I wish I had lovely colors like the others. White shows nothing of who I am." Disheartened, the raven took flight once more. If even the splendid swan was not content, who could be? Next, he happened upon a colorful parade of parrots in a nearby tree, laughing and preening their spectacular plumes. "Here is a group who must feel splendid in their glossy coats," the raven mused. Approaching the parrots, the raven cheerily asked, "With your rainbow of hues, you all seem beyond blissful. Who could be happier than a beautiful parrot?" But one parrot stepped forward with a sad look and mentioned, "I may shine, but I live in fear of being trapped again in a too small cage, on display, but not free." By now the raven was growing confused. If even the sociable parrots and the swan were not satisfied, who could be? With the setting sun, he spotted the resplendent emperor of birds, the peacock, fanning his spectacular tail before an entranced audience at the local zoo. Surely a being so extravagantly painted must delight always in its design. Catching the peacock's eyes, the raven greeted him. "Magnificent creature! With your dazzling dress and admirers each day, you must know only bliss." But shaking its head, the peacock whispered back sadly, "I am confined and people rootle through my feathers, causing me pain. All for their own pleasure, not mine. A gilded cage is still a prison." The raven could hardly believe what he was hearing. None of the colorful, sociable birds felt truly content. All seemed to find fault in some area of their lives. Discouraged, he asked the peacock, "If you're not happy, then who is? Which bird lives with no regrets?" Thinking deeply, the peacock looked around his enclosure, finally spotting the raven and smiling. "My friend, you are the only one who comes and goes freely as you please through the sky. No cage, no demands, just simplicity. I believe the raven is truly the happiest of all." Hardly daring to believe it, the raven flew off into the night, pondering all he had seen and heard. Returning to the monk at long last, he bowed low and said, "Why, sir, forgive my foolishness before. After seeing how even the most beautiful birds find cause for complaint, I see now that simplicity can be its own blessing. Please, I am happy enough as a plain old raven." The monk smiled kindly. "You have learned a valuable lesson, that true contentment comes from within, not without. Comparing oneself to others leads only to jealousy and sadness. Be at peace in what you have been given." And so the raven returned to his solitary perch in the woods, but with a new sense of purpose and acceptance. From that day on, he was once again happy with his simple black feathers and solitary way of life. He had learned that true happiness lies not in color or company, but in being joyful with one's lot. This story reminds us that the grass is not always greener on the other side. Social media tends to highlight only the positive pieces of others' lives, making our own seem dull by comparison. But true contentment comes from cultivating gratitude for what we do have, not obsessively wanting more. I hope you enjoyed this tale. Please subscribe to our channel for more inspirational videos and stories about finding purpose and peace within. Thanks for watching. Why we meet people. A lesson from Zen Gardens. Have you ever had a moment that stopped you in your tracks and made you feel like the whole world was speaking to you all at once? A moment where everything felt delicately connected and profoundly meaningful? For a young Buddhist monk named Sunali, it was a beautiful butterfly that landed upon his hand one sunny afternoon that opened his eyes to the intricate web of connections that unite all of life. As its colorful wings fluttered against his skin, Sunali felt a sense of peace wash over him. In that instant, he glimpsed the ties that bind us all together, from the smallest creature to the vastest of worlds. Its visit became a reminder for Sunali of Buddhism's core teaching of interconnectedness, and how even the briefest of encounters can hold profound lessons if we stop to pay attention. Join me now as we explore more stories from Buddhism's rich tradition, each shining light on the reasons we meet the people who cross our paths. Whether it's serendipitous encounters, the kind acts of strangers, or links to past lives, these tales reveal the intricate ties that link all beings. By cultivating awareness of our interconnectedness, we can gain deeper empathy for others and appreciate each relationship we form, however fleeting it may seem. So settle in and open your mind as we travel to a distant monastery, a quiet seaside village, and more, discovering along the way how every person we meet plays a role in the grand pattern of our lives. I hope that through these folktales and their wisdoms, you too come to see the connections that join your world in ways both subtle and strong. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more Zen lessons on living mindfully, cultivating compassion, and glimpsing the threads that entwine us all. Now, let our journey into interconnectedness begin. Part 1. A Butterfly's Medal. In a lush garden tucked within the verdant forest surrounding a small Buddhist monastery, lived a young monk named Sunali. While other brothers spent their days in quiet prayer or study of sacred texts, Sunali found solace in simply beholding the natural beauty unfolding around him. On afternoons when duties were complete, he could often be found sitting zazen under a mighty oak, watching butterfly wings flutter among blossoms like living petals crafted of rainbows. It was on one such afternoon that Sunali's perception changed forever. As he sat in deep meditation, a burst of cerulean flashed before his eyes as a new visitor alighted upon his outstretched hand. Its delicate legs and paper-thin wings tingled against his skin as he remained perfectly still, awestruck by the vibrant creature perched mere inches from his face. He drank in every exquisite detail, from miniature eyes dotted with black to the geometric patterns of aquamarine that tiled its wings like stained glass. In that moment, Sunali felt everything around him acutely. The rustle of leaves in the breeze, each ray of sunlight piercing through the canopy above, even the rhythm of his own breath, now in sync with the living artwork perched upon him. All at once, he recognized how inextricably all things were bound, from the waving grass and crawling insects below, to the boundless blue that stretched up to touch the sky. The butterfly's arrival was no chance occurrence, but rather a sign pointing to the truth that every small act in every being's existence ripples outward without end. From then on, whenever Sunali spotted the fleeting flash of painted wings, he was reminded that nothing in this world is alone or isolated. We are all threads within the same vibrant tapestry. As the butterfly launched itself back up into the endless sky, it took with it a message that would stay with the young monk for life. However separate we may perceive ourselves to be, deep down all things are connected in a symphony far greater than any of us know. Part 2. Where karma plies its trades. While sitting by the sea some years later, Sunali reflected on another fundamental concept of Buddhism, that of karma, the universal law stating one's intentional actions have consequences that follow like echoes. As waves lapped at the shore and gulls wheeled overhead, a stranger approached and sat beside the monk. Politely introducing himself as a fisherman named Tiano, the man scanned Sunali's face as if searching for something just out of view. "Forgive me, but have we met before? You seem so familiar, though I'm sure we've never crossed paths in this lifetime," Tiano wondered. Sunali smiled and shook his head, bemused by the question yet open to whatever wisdom may emerge. Tiano launched into a story then of a past life where the two men had been close friends, bonding over shared youth in a small coastal village far from this place. They had made a vow to find one another again if reborn, so their friendship might continue across the fabric of time. Though Sunali had no memory of this past bond, an undeniable kinship stirred within at the fisherman's words. Karma, he realized, had drawn their souls back together once more through the echoes of selfless acts performed lifetimes ago. Their original bond and the goodness it bred continued manifesting even now in new forms, meant to strengthen one another on the journey ahead. From that day forward, Sunali kept Tiano as a dear friend, and the two spoke often of their belief that even the most chance encounters owe to karma's intricate patterns playing out across the web of life. Part 3. Lessons lurk within the unexpected. One crisp autumn morning, the rustling stillness of the forest was split by urgent voices calling out from the monastery grounds. Rushing to see what commotion had arose, Sunali arrived to find a stranger at the gates asking desperately for aid. His village lay just over the hill but had been overcome by calamity, leaving many injured and in need. Without hesitation, Sunali led a contingent of brothers equipped with medicine, bandages, and warm comfort to the remote hamlet. What they found was chaos unseen before, homes destroyed, families torn apart and wailing with grief. Among collapsed beams and ash drifted on smoking winds walked a man seemingly unharmed, stunned mute by the carnage surrounding him. Sunali approached slowly, taking the man's hands in his own. "You are safe now. This suffering will pass, as all things must. For now, know that you are not alone. We will help you and your people rebuild." As time went on, the man, named Hiro, proved integral to restoring normalcy. His craftsmanship rebuilt stronger structures from the ruins, and his good humor lifted people's spirits. Most unexpectedly of all was how Hiro's arrival had brought the village into contact with the monastery, forging new bonds of cooperation where before there was only isolation. Out of ruin emerged revelation, that even darkness holds light if we have courage to look. And within each stranger may lie untold gifts if we open our arms to receive them. Part 4. From tea leaves, life's lessons. Steep tucked within a tranquil valley knelt a simple tea house, home to Master Takeda, renowned for his restorative brews and devotion to the way of tea. It was here one evening that a gruff soldier named Daichi arrived, curiosity getting the better of his skepticism about this fame. He watched, transfixed, as Takeda hurried through each step, boiling water, carefully scooping powdered leaves into delicate handleless cups, all with a peaceful grace like rolling waves. When offered a cup of the steaming liquor, Daichi paused, then sipped. Flavor unlike any other exploded across his tongue, bitter yet bright, earthy but clean and complex. More than taste alone, a profound calm seeped through his body. For the first time in memory, his endlessly active mind stilled into peaceful quiet. How do you achieve such focus, such mastery over mind and body? Daichi asked the master. Takeda smiled knowingly. My friend, it is not the tea but the making that is truly important. To fully pour oneself into each gesture, sensation, each breath, just as the leaves pour flavor into water. This bringing of one's full presence to even simple acts, this is the secret to life well steeped. In that moment, Daichi glimpsed new vision, that living with presence and care, even in small moments, has power to heal and enlighten. From then on, he strived to savor each step of the journey as if it may be his last. Part 5. Seeing our shared humanity. One cold winter's day, a monk named Keisuke was returning to his village temple when a chilling sight stopped him in his tracks. A frail widow lay shivering in the snow, having collapsed from exhaustion and lack of shelter or sustenance. Though strangers, Keisuke saw only a fellow traveler in need of care and comfort. Gathering her frail form in strong arms, he hurried home and lay her before a roaring fire. As the woman's pallid skin flushed pink again, Keisuke brought hot broth and blankets. He spoke gently, learning of recent losses, leaving her with nothing as winter set in. His companions soon arrived with more supplies, and together they nursed the widow back to health over subsequent weeks. Once recovered, the woman expressed her endless gratitude for the care shown a nameless beggar woman by these selfless monks. "You have restored not just my body, but faith that in our shared humanity, goodness still marks our race." Her words stirred Keisuke, for in her, he saw not other but soul sister, and in his actions, not obligations but chance to uplift a life as brother cares for brother. From that day, the widow volunteered at the temple, sharing the gifts of compassion she herself received in her darkest hour, an eye towards interconnection. As our journey through these tales draws to a close, let their lessons linger, that however separate our lives may seem, the truth is we exist entwined like spider's silk, with every choice and encounter rippling outward beyond measure. May you leave with eyes to peer past surface into depths of connection binding all beings. There you may glimpse in friends, strangers, and natural wonders glimmerings of your true interwoven self. With open hands and heart, embrace each relationship as chance to uplift one another on life's winding way. And should serendipity deliver an unexpected encounter, receive it as potential bearer of gifts yet undiscovered. For who can say how karma may express, or from where insight into life's grandeur may arise? Go now with thanks for all who cross your path, however briefly. Appreciate each meeting, however common, as strand in the magnificent, forever-weaving web of beings. For in seeing our shared fate, dualities dissolve and compassion has ground to flower. This is the gift of viewing life through Buddhism's lens of interconnectedness. May your journey upon its winding paths be filled with meaning, wonder, and light. Today I came to you with a challenge: to embrace what comes hard and accept each challenge you face. More than that, I implore you to fall in love with the process of meeting those challenges. While the road will not be easy, and there will be many opportunities to feel discouraged, to lose your passion, and to believe it's simply not meant to be, you must have a resolute mindset if you wish to achieve your destiny. Giving up after the first failed attempt, or the 5th, or even the 30th, shows that deep down, you did not truly want success badly enough. There must be something you believe in so fervently that you refuse to surrender, something you are relentless about achieving no matter the obstacles. You cannot allow yourself to be moved by how impossible success appears, or discouraged by the length of time it is taking. You must refuse to give up just because others have told you no in the past. Your attitude should be that if you have to spend your entire life pursuing your dreams, then so be it. You will not stop believing or accept refusal as your answer. You will not settle for mediocrity, but will relentlessly pursue the goals and dreams that reside in your heart. You must ask yourself what you really want out of life and write those desires down. Putting thoughts to paper forces deeper contemplation, and through thinking, a vibrant image takes shape in your mind. It is these vivid visions that drive you to build toward your goals each and every day. The true visionaries who changed the world all had an unwavering vision that compelled them forward, despite the adversity they faced. You too must cultivate such a vision if you hope to achieve great success. But maintaining your competitive edge and staying on top requires an even greater focus, the ability to mentally prepare again and again without end. While the body has limitations, the mind is limitless. Yet we often obsess over physical training and preparation, forgetting that it all begins with mental preparedness. If you are not steadfast in your mind first, then you will never truly be ready physically. This is where the real work starts, in developing an indomitable mindset that remains unmoved by fear or doubt. Imagine how bright your future could be if you refuse to allow your fears to hold you back from pursuing your dreams. Life will surely test you through hardship if you do not take charge of your own destiny. When mistakes are made in youth, do not let them consume you, for every success story is built upon failures along the way. You must fail in order to ultimately succeed. To truly understand how to perform at your best, you first had to experience the lows of poor performance. You must develop toughness, for the path to success is never smooth. It is always under construction with obstacles around every turn. The people who achieve great things are those with a relentless attitude who refuse to surrender no matter the setbacks. You must hang on through the bad breaks, which always precede the big break that will change your life forever. A series of failures and mistakes tries to defeat many, yet you can overcome anything if you refuse to remain down. My life's work and success story aim to prove that anyone is capable of stumbling or falling down, but still rising up again with renewed strength and resolve. You control your own destiny, so decide that you will not allow your fears to hold you back any longer. You must do whatever it takes, for if you do not, then life will continue to beat you down until you surrender to mediocrity. Now is the time to ask yourself the pivotal question: what do I really want out of my life? Take the time to write your dreams, goals, and ambitions down on paper so that you can truly think them through. As thoughts materialize in your mind, so too will vivid visions of the future you want to create. Nurture those images each day by taking steps, no matter how small, to build toward realizing your potential. Continue mentally preparing over and over to strengthen your mind, for while the body has limits, your mind is limitless in its capacity. Focus so often on perfecting your skills physically that you fail to recognize mental preparedness as the true foundation. If you do not enter each endeavor with an unshakable mind first, then you will never access your highest abilities. Starting now, refuse to allow fears or doubts to compromise your resolve. Let each challenge only enhance your determination as you gain invaluable experience along the way. Though mistakes will come as part of the process, do not let past failures hold you back from continually growing into your best self. You have so much greatness within your reach, so dig deep and rediscover the passions that first called you to action. Maintain a relentless attitude that refuses to give up no matter the obstacles or setbacks along your journey. Hard times will surely come, but stay steady as the worst periods always precede major opportunities. Do not lose sight of your long-term vision amid short-term frustrations. Keep visualized success daily and take consistent action to manifest your dreams. My story and many others prove that anyone can stumble but still rise up again with grit and grace. You control your destiny, so unleash your fullest potential unbound by fears of any kind. Whatever it takes, do it, for a life of mediocrity will only leave you with deepest regrets. The choice is yours. Will you surrender or will you fight to achieve all you are destined for? I believe in your greatness and cannot wait to see all you are capable of accomplishing. Have you ever thought about why certain people come into your life? It's almost as if they arrive at just the right moment, as if fate had a hand in your crossing paths. From new friends who lift your spirits to chance encounters that shift your perspective, there is a feeling that these meetings are meant to be. But have you ever wondered why? Today I share with you a story passed down from Master Hotaka, a monk renowned for his wisdom, that contains profound insights into the purpose behind each person we cross lives with. So settle in and let this story about Hiroshi unfold to reveal touching truths about our meaningful connections. Hiroshi was a thoughtful young man who often pondered life's great mysteries. One sunny morning, he ventured into the forest near his village in search of guidance. There, amongst the towering cherry trees blooming with color, he found Hotaka in a peaceful meditation. Approaching cautiously so as not to disturb the master, Hiroshi inquired, "Why is it that when meeting some people I feel an instant bond, yet with others a sense of unease?" Hotaka opened his eyes, which shone with a lifetime of learning, and replied, "No meeting is by chance, my friend. Every person plays a role in shaping your journey, whether for a moment or a lifetime. The old monk then began sharing profound insights about the purpose behind our encounters. Like birds riding the winds, we don't float aimlessly, but are guided to cross paths for reasons yet unknown. Your life is a garden where destiny plants each person you meet. Some become beautiful flowers that brighten your world before departing, while others stand as mighty trees providing shelter for years to come. Hiroshi thought back on those who entered and left his life, seeing new meaning in their contributions. Hotaka continued his lesson. Those who cause pain also strengthen you, helping you grow despite challenges. And in storms, there are anchors like steadfast roots who offer stability when most needed. Hiroshi nodded in understanding, grateful for a source of support during difficult times past. The master looked to the night sky. True friends remain stars that light your path forever, to be appreciated for their constant light and for helping share life's burdens and joys. Wising to impart his deepest wisdom, Hotaka used nature's greatest symphony as a metaphor. Imagine life as a grand orchestra. Each person you meet plays their own unique instrument, together creating the music influencing your journey. Some introductions are subtle, like small tributaries bringing new insights, while others challenge strongly, like undercurrents testing your character. But all contribute notes that interweave your story. Hotaka identified 3 categories denoting our purposeful acquaintances. Catalysts compel growth, pushing you in exciting new directions. Nurturers provide nourishment to help you blossom into your fullest potential, even during dark periods. And reflections hold mirrors that help you recognize inner truths, driving personal evolution. In each fleeting or lifelong encounter, a valuable lesson could be found. As the evening fell and shadows lengthened, Hotaka's parting words echoed with significance. Remember, young Hiroshi, this life is a profound symphony that brings people into your circle for reasons still unfolding. Harmonize with the melodies around you by listening with an open heart and sharing your gifts with grace and care. Let your contributions add to those around you, just as each meeting shapes who you become. Hiroshi left filled with a new understanding and appreciation for each connection, fleeting or lifelong, that enters our lives. Whether chance encounters that shift perspective, or those bonded by fate to share life's beauty in storms, the insight that no meeting occurs without purpose had taken root. Hotaka's lesson reminds us that in opening our eyes to see people not simply as faces passing through, but as uniquely purposed presences, we gain profound insight into life's grand unfolding story and our place within it. I hope you found this Zen tale as touching and thought-provoking as I did. Master Hotaka's patience in observing life's interconnected patterns left him with profound wisdom to share. If you appreciated learning from his lifetime of insights and gaining a new perspective, please subscribe to my channel for more stories exploring life's deeper meanings. Your support helps me continue sharing such lessons that can stay with us and guide our journeys. Please also let me know in the comments what new realizations this tale sparked for you about those you've met and your place in the grand symphony of connections that is life. Now go forth with gratitude for each person you encounter, as each plays their own beautiful role in your unfolding story.